for watching. I'm Prerna Agarwal, Technical Product Owner for the Guardian. Today I'll be giving you Guardian update of Sprint 83 that lasted from January 20th to January 31st. So just a quick overview of the agenda. We'll be looking at the Guardian roadmap. We'll be also looking at the issues that we tackled in Sprint 83. We'll be flipping over and giving you a short demo on Sprint 83. Then we'll be looking ahead of week of February 3rd, which is Sprint 84. We'll be also looking about the issues that we'll be tackling in Sprint 84. We'll be talking about the upcoming releases, and we'll be giving you some of the ways that you can either submit bugs or policy requests through various different channels. So talking about Guardian roadmap, so we are working on the business use case for emission reductions and removable calculation, pre-calculator, and Guardian. We are also working on the add policy support for more than one external data block. We are working on establishing a deprecation policy for architectural APIs. We are also working on firing external event when minting process is finished. Talking about Sprint 83. So in Sprint 83 lasted from January 20th to January 31st. Currently what we have done is we have committed to 49 story points in Sprint 83, but we have delivered 44 story points, which includes 2838 drive and policy execution, save points, 3408 formula link definitions and schema tree enhancement, and we have also worked on 3929, which is enhancement and bugs of indexer. So before we go to this, we will be looking at our Sprint 83 demo. So the first ticket what we'll be looking at is ticket number 3408, which is formula link definitions and schema tree enhancements. So the current schema tree, it doesn't directly correspond to methodological formulas. All the methodologies are invoked via schemas and tools. This could be improved from a definition and alignment to a formula that exists in the PDF. The objective is to enable users to view human-readable mathematical representations of the calculation functionality of policies whenever they look at relevant schemas. Policies are documents with data. Furthermore, they should be able to see how the values are calculated, that is, which field in the schema or a document maps to what variable in the displayed math formula, so they have an opportunity to manually check the result. Schema review should display a hierarchy of formulas it represents, mapping variables in the formula to fields in schemas. So in order to do a demo on this, what we have done is I have just recorded a detailed video on this so that we can just go over the process of how you can implement this particular milestone or ticket. So here, as you can see, we have our Guardian UI. So as we go along, I will be giving you an explanation of what is going on so that you can better understand this particular functionality. So as you can see, we have added manage formulas in standard registry under policy. Then first you do is you first create a formula by clicking on create new, and you add a name to our formula, and also you need to select the policy where you want to implement this formula for. So I just name it as test formula and I select the policy. Then I configure the formula. So you have three steps over here. One is the overview, and the second is you need to edit the formula, and third is you can attach the file if there is anything existing over there. So I would edit the formula. Here I have three sections, which is add new constant, add new formula, add new variable, and so on, and add the text. So first I would be adding a new constant. So a is my constant. Then I would also like to add a new variable. So I would just add E as a variable, and then that would be pointing to schema issue request, and in that it will be pointing to total production start date. Then I would also add one more variable as S, which would be again pointing to issue request, but this would be the end date. Then I would like to add a text saying that what does that mean? That would be linking to energy sources, and that would be auxiliary energy sources present. Then I would be able to add a formula using those two variables and the text. Here, as you can see, you have a formula box where I can just add the whole formula, where I'm just adding as A is a constant, E and S is my variables. And then I can just add as we go along as your policy request. Now, as once you add it, you can also link that particular formula to the schema. So you're linking that to the total KVH, KWH. Now once that is done, you can just save it. And if you have any attached files like a JSON data, you can also upload that particular JSON data in this particular file or step. And once you upload it, you can save the changes. So once you do that, as you see, once you upload the JSON, you will have the IPFS URL populated. Just one, if you want to just check that particular JSON file or the file which has been uploaded, you can check it. Once that is done, you can save the changes, and then you can go back to manage formulas. And once you publish this particular formula, you can use this particular thing in the policy. So once you publish it, you can actually see what is the formula being edited. So in this example, I have edited it to a into e minus s, which is a simple one. And then I can just use this in my policy. So as you can see, I have a policy which is issue IREC with formula. I just open that, and then in the issue request, I can see actually that particular formula is been implemented with all the values with my JSON. As you can see here, you have an fx which says that what is a component and what is the name, description, and the field and the value. As this was one of the formula which we have done, which is a start date. And then you can also see for the end date, this was a configuration what we have done. And then this is a formula what we have implemented. So you can see all the details and the value in the policy schema issue request, which means that you can just verify that the formula is working, or you can go ahead and then change that particular formula again and then test it. So to get more details about this particular implementation or the functionality, we have also updated our documentation. So if you go to our docs.hedera.com under standard registry, under policy, we have added the formula link definition, and you can get a look at every step-by-step configuration. In addition to that, we have also added all the related APIs, which would be helpful for you to implement this particular functionality. So the second ticket what we'll be looking at is 2838, which is dry run policy execution save point, which is restarting policy dry run from the saved place. In practice, when developing a policy, it is often rerun to test latest changes in a dry run mode. For realistic policies, it can be time consuming as they tend to be quite lengthy and complex, and thus required to remember and then re-execute all the operations just to reach the point which is tested. It can be inconvenient and time consuming. Note this is a different from 2559, which targets Guardian data recovery, that is, its subject is published artifacts, while this ticket aims to simplify dry run, that is policy authoring mode. In order to demo this, we again have a detailed video on this front where you can actually see how you can add save points to the dry run. So as you can see, we have just created a demo policy here, which will be used to just demo you the save points. So here what we are doing is we are just having a filter value. So we are just adding field as 1 to the filter. Then I'm clicking on the save point, which is a save point right up there. So once my save point has been done, I again add a second value. Now I add a second value as field 2. I created. Then I also again add a third value as 3 and click on create. Now I click on restore to get to my first save point. So that at the time I click on restore, I go to my first save point, which is 1. Again, I can add more values. I add 2. I click on create. I restore again, and then I go back to my first save point. So basically, as you can see that we are able to actually go ahead and add any of the step in the policy workflow as a save point, and then you can just easily go back to that particular save point using the restore functionality. So to get more information, again, we have added a detailed documentation in our documentation, at docs.hedera.com, and when you get there, if under the dry run, we have a 4.9 section as save point, which will actually give you a detail of how you can do the save point and how you can restore. We also have the save API endpoints on this particular thing. So if you just scroll down, you would say the create save point, return save point state, restoring, and deleting. So all these are related to the save point. So we have added this particular thing in our documentation. So that was demo on sprint 83. Looking ahead of week of Feb 3rd, which is sprint 84. So we will be working on 4375, which is add capabilities to display complex GeoJSON shapes superimposed on maps. We are also working on 3992, which is add policy support for more than one external data block. We are investigating and fixing CPU memory inefficiencies in core services. And lastly, we are working on 4090, which is firing external event when minting process is finished. Hence, we are actually committing to 42 story points in sprint 84. Talking about our upcoming releases, our last release was on Friday, January 31st, 2025. Our next release will be on Wednesday, April 30th, 2025. We are following the 3 months cadence. So there are multiple ways to reach out to us. You can either reach out to us on GitHub. You can just submit policy requests or enhancements, or if you have some bugs, please log that bugs in GitHub so that we can get our team on it. Also, if you haven't joined our Discord, please join our Discord at hedera.com/discord, and when you get the search for sustainability channel, or you can directly reach out to us by emailing us at info@envisionblockchain.com or submitting your request through our website, which is www.envisionblockchain.com. Thank you. Have a great day.